Ladies and gentlemen, members of the jury, members of the Roll the Tape film crew, we are live and in living color with another episode, unknown to be exact, another episode of Roll the Tape podcast with Manager Marty. We have a good segment today, and I know that most people are used to, me broadcasting live on Tuesday evenings and Friday evenings. There's some schedule conflicts, but we're here right now. And I'm glad that I'm here today with all of you. You know, we're going to have a good show today. It's Saturday morning. I'm fully aware that we're in competition, as always, but it's always good competition. We're going to talk about the sport of boxing, the business of boxing, live and living color. I welcome each and every one of you here. I'm glad we're here today. I'm excited about it. I really am. Missed you all. I feel like I've been going for weeks now, even though I just was with you all Friday evening. Well, last Friday evening. Uh, but welcome. Come on in. Come on in. It does not matter how small, medium, or large my audience is on any given day. I am going to produce quality content and provide the two objectives of this broadcast and everything else on this channel, and that's entertainment and education. I should have said it the other way first. Education and and entertainment, right? So I welcome each and every last one of you. I'm going to allow just a few more people to enter into the live so that we could begin our segment. You know how we start off our segment with the bread and water, right? We know that. We know how we started off. We start our segment off with that bread and water. We started off with our Town Watch check-in. So I'm giving more people just a few moments to come on in, enter into the live so that we can start our broadcast. Before we do all of that, let me say I welcome each and every last one of you all in the chat. Salute to you all. I welcome uh, anyone that's broadcasting with us live for the first time. I welcome you. If you are watching the replay of this live, I want to tell you I welcome you as well, and you can always participate in the comment section below. I'm just so excited to be here today. Y'all just don't even know. I feel like I've been going literally for over a week live, and I have been. It feels like that. But I'm so grateful that I have a boxing family and all of you as the Roll the Tape film crew members that I can come back, kick it with you, and it feel like I never left. And as somebody say, always in the chat, Electric always say this in the chat. He always says, edutainment. Edutainment. That's what we provide. Thank you, Electric. He always says that. Appreciate it. We provide edutainment. So in a few moments, we're going to start this broadcast off the right way with our Town Watch check-in. We're going to start it off the right way with our Town Watch check-in. Momentarily, though. Momentarily. Because I see people are just slowly coming on in, and we're going to do it the right way. Give us a few moments. All right, y'all. We ready? We ready for our town? We ready for our town watch check-in? Y'all ready? Gotta make sure everybody here now. Gotta make sure everybody in the building. Gotta make sure everybody here. We're gonna get it in. Y'all know how we do this. So if you're just joining us live for the first time, let me tell you how we do this. We call this portion of the live broadcast Town Watch Check-in. Let me tell you what it means, and then we going right in. So the Town Watch Check-in is very simple. What we do in the chat collectively is we acknowledge where we were born and raised and or where we're located now, geographically speaking, when I talk about location. The reason why we do that in the chat, and if you're watching the replay of this live, you can also participate in the comment section below. The reason why we do that is because we will acknowledge, obviously, that we represent all parts of the world, right? We come from different backgrounds. We have different perspectives on the sport of boxing. We may agree, we may disagree. But despite all of those elements, we all share one thing in common, and that is we love the sport of boxing. So what our Town Watch check-in does, it allows this broadcast to show that we are inclusive. And in the chat, and everyone participating in the chat is equally as inclusive, irregardless of whether we agree or disagree, right? So I'll start the Town Watch checking off as I always do. And then when you drop your location, where you were born and or raised, or where you're from now, when you drop that in the chat, I'm going to publicly acknowledge it so that we all can check on in. Y'all ready? So y'all know I'm going to start it off first, and then I'm going down the timeline in the chat, and I'm going to publicly acknowledge the location you put in the chat, and we're all going to get ready to talk about the sport and the business of boxing. Y'all ready? All right, you know I'm going to start it off. Y'all know I represent 2 different states, but I always like to say I'm representing the DFW area. My residue is still there in the state of Texas, representing Mansfield section. Y'all know where that's at, Tarrant County. Salute. Y'all know, all the way in Arlington, representing Texas. And then I'm going to represent that state by way of my hometown, the great city of Philadelphia. Nope, not in the state of Mississippi, because there is a Philadelphia in the state of Mississippi. Nope, in the state of Pennsylvania, representing my hometown of Philly. Now, who else we got here? Glen Heights, Texas is in the building. Come on and let's check on in. Who else we got in here? Who else we got? East St. Louis, Midwest is in the building. Who else we got in here? Let's check on in. Let's check on in. Somebody said that they are in ATL right now. ATL in the building. Come on, let's check on in. Who else we got in the house? Come on, let's check on in. I know some of you still here. That's why I gave y'all a few moments to get yourself together. Now we here. We're here now. Who else we got in here? That's it? Y'all, that's the only people that want to check in? All the way from Las Vegas, Nevada, born and raised in California. I see you. Come on in. Check on in. Check on in. DC in the house. DC Finest. My boy DC Finest is here with us today. Woo! Is Brooklyn in the house? Y'all know where that's at, right? BK in the building. Currently reside in Harlem, near 125th Street. What's going on? We got New York in the building. Oh, all the way from the Philippines. And they also represent America too. That is my other boxing family members, Nonito and Rachel Donaire, Always a pleasure. Salute. Cincinnati, Ohio in the building. Oh, it don't stop there in Ohio, because we also got Cleveland in the house today. Who else we got? Okay, Brian, I see you. Yeah, you know how we do in Mansfield. Okay. Huntsville, Texas is in the building. Hey, BX or B Next is here, representing New York. The Bronx. Who else we got in here today? Come on, let's check on in this morning. Let's check on in. Y'all getting the air fryer warmed up in this chat right now. Y'all warming the air fryer up. Who else we got in here? Let's go. Woo! I did not know my man was gonna be here this morning. Bright and early, representing Logan Valley. Come on now, you already know how they do in Logan. Yes, indeed. YSM Sports Media is in the building. Salute to him as well. The man who has made me famous on YouTube. He calls me the hottest man on YouTube. I don't know if he say the hottest manager or hottest man on YouTube. I forgot your saying, YSM. But I want to tell y'all right now, go check out YSM Sports Media's channel. His content is fire. No disrespect to all the other reporters and the journalists, but this guy, YSM Sports Media, you would think that he have 2 degrees in this field. That's how great he is. That's how good he does interviews. He does research. He is a true journalist. Please go subscribe to his channel if you already have not. If you may not be familiar with his name, you may be familiar with his content, especially seeing some previous interviews with me in it. But that's YSM Sports Media. He is the guy I give all my credit to when it comes to YouTube, learning about YouTube, putting me on the map. He's the guy. So salute to my man, YSM Sports Media. Okay, I see somebody else from Philly in the building who grew up in Logan and in HP, which is Hunting Park. Salute to you, Tommy. I see you representing Philly in the building. Okay, Dallas, Texas is in the building. Hashtag man down. That's what he said. Hashtag man down. Y'all know what man down represents. Who else we got in here? We got a few more moments. We got a few more. Can I get maybe 2 or 3 more so we can check on in? We got to talk about business today. Oh yes, we got to talk about some boxing today. Ooh, and I got my family here too. What? We're gonna get busy this morning. Who else we got in here? Can I get one more at least? New Jersey in the building. New Jersey in the building. Hey, best videos. What part of New Jersey you from? What part of New Jersey you repping? Salute, Tommy Hudson. Salute. I appreciate your support and viewership as always, Tommy. Hey, best videos. What part of Jersey in the building? What part? What part of Jersey in the building? You know, we rep Jersey over here too. East Coast. Can I get one more? Can I get somebody up? 3 heads. Philly in the building. You see how Philly come out. You see how the family here. You see, hey, like I always tell y'all, you ever been at a family barbecue, a family cookout, or a family gathering, and then you see your favorite cousin, and then it seemed like the time, the music, and everything around you just stop? Well, that's how I feel every time I see somebody from Philly in the building. It seemed like the time just stopped. It just seemed like the music stopped. It seemed like all the elements around just stand still so I can go and acknowledge my favorite cousin. And you know, when I see my city in the building, I got to represent hard. Indeed. Okay, I see you originally from Trenton and now in Hamilton, New Jersey. I was just in Trenton just earlier this week, actually. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, Black Preacher Man, I see you in the chat. Yes, I see you. As the viewership, YSM love when I say this, as the viewership is increasing exponentially. Speaking of exponentially, y'all, I'm working on getting merchandise popping. Okay, I'm working on getting merchandise popping, and so you're going to see certain slogans that I have created and I've made very popular on my channel here on YouTube. Y'all going to see them printed on shirts, and I'm trying to work on all that stuff, okay? And you're definitely going to see a shirt that just say exponentially. If you know, you know. So that was our Town Watch check-in. If you are joining the replay of this live, please feel free to do your check-in in the comment section below. And when I see it, I will promise you, if I can, when I see it, I'm definitely going to acknowledge you in the comment section as well, because I want everybody to be able to participate and join in on a broadcast. Even if you can't make it live, you can always go back and check the replay out. Mr. Vegas, salute. I see you in the chat. Now, I know what you came here for. One of the reasons why you came over here today is because we have to address the elephant in the room. Okay? Yeah, you see it on your screen. Yup, you see it. H-Town is in the building. Houston, Texas. I see you. Now, oh my God, Sean T back. I ain't seen Sean T in a minute. Always good to see you, Sean T. I see you in the chat. The judges may rob Crawford. Okay? Now, you see that on your screen. Now, listen, let me just say this real quick. I did a video, and I published it, and I want to say Thursday, if I'm not mistaken, on Thursday. I did a video and published it regarding Roy Jones Jr.'s prediction of the fight. And in that video, I did make a reference myself about the judges in Vegas. I don't know if any of you seen that video, or at least it wasn't a real video, it was just audio that I published on Thursday that just passed. And I spoke on the judging in Vegas. I spoke on that. I did. But the reason why I spoke on the judges, because the last couple of fights that we've seen in Vegas, the last few, including the last fight between Devin Haney and Lomachenko, we've seen some controversy in the scorecards. And that laid the foundation for most people to be critical of the judging in that last fight, because fans of the sport basically tied it down the middle. Some people said that they believed Lomachenko won. Some other people thought that, or believed that Haney won, because it came down to the judges' scorecards. So the reason why I mentioned the judging in Vegas is only because of this thing. Only because the inconsistencies of the scorecards in the last couple of fights that were produced in Vegas. And I'm not including Ryan Garcia versus Tank Davis. We know how that fight ended. I'm talking about the fights that have ended in a decision based on the scorecards. Okay? Some people could think the judges got it right between Devin Haney versus Lomachenko, and I'm one of them. But I know that certain rounds, in my personal expertise as a trained judge, right, certified through USA Boxing, I thought that some of the rounds that they gave Lomachenko, they should have gave to Haney. And a few rounds they gave to Haney, they should have gave to Lomachenko. But I did also say in the video I published last month that I believe that the judges got the right winner. Now, that's the reason why I said the judges may be a factor in Vegas in this fight between Crawford and Spence. However, Timothy Bradley had a different reason when he recently brought up the judges in Vegas. His reason was totally different from mine. And we are going to air fry on that reason. We're going to dissect that reason. Okay? But before I do that, this is the part of the segment, I got to show my face. I want to talk about something, since we're talking about business. I want to talk about something that recently happened. The reports have already put it out there. So I won't use the number 3 because I don't know if it's number 3, but we know it's more than one. Because Canelo Alvarez signed a multi-fight deal with PBC. Some people are saying it's 3. Some people are saying it's multi-fight. And reports that has been circulating for the last few days. Canelo Alvarez signed a multi-fight deal with PBC, and his first fight under the PBC banner is going to be against Jamel Charlo. We're going to talk about that. But before I do, there's something, speaking of YSM Sports Media, who's here in the chat live and living color right now. YSM Sports Media, I think it was in our first interview together. This was last summer, y'all. I think it was in June or July. Yeah, last summer, I think it was in July. The first time YSM Sports Media interviewed me on his platform, on his channel. I specifically said these words now. Hear me and hear me good. I said, Terrence Bud Crawford needs to do the same thing that Manny Pacquiao did to secure the fight with Errol Spence Jr. My exact words were, he needs to sign a multi-fight deal so that he can secure a rematch and make 2 paydays in 1 year. Let me reframe that. 2 big paydays in 1 year. I said that. And it happened. Now, Al Heyman and PBC have been getting highly criticized for years. Even, let's just go back just a whole year. Just a whole year. Forget years. Let's make it more recent. For a whole year. I won't say Rick Glazer's name. I'm not going to say Barbershop Conversations' name. I'm not going to say Blue Blood Sports TV's name. I'm just saying that a couple people been on YouTube criticizing PBC. And long and behold, PBC is still rising, still shining, still grinding. Month after month, year after year. Just when people told us on YouTube that the PBC is broke, did y'all hear that? I need engagement in the chat. I've been going for a whole week and I'm excited right now. I just need some engagement in the chat. In the chat, did y'all hear that? It don't matter if it was by one of the 3 guys I mentioned or anybody else. Did y'all hear? Somebody talk to me in the chat. I'm ready now. I just woke up not too long ago. I'm just excited. Did y'all hear that the PBC was broke? They going out of business. Al Heyman done screwed the money up. Did y'all hear that? Okay, somebody said, yes, sir. One person said, 2 people said it. Anybody else? In the chat, come on, let's engage about this. Let's talk about this. Showtime is going to go out of business when it comes to boxing because they did some kind of merger with Paramount. Did y'all hear that? Come on, somebody talk to me in the chat. 290. I got you when the segment is off. I got to wait till the segment is off. I'll give you a Rich. What's up, Bruce Gas? I see you. I need answers. We need answers. Have we heard it? Y'all all heard Showtime going out of business. Blasey. They're not going to produce boxing because they're merging with Paramount. The PBC is done. Y'all heard that, right? And now we're hearing. No. Let me back up. Before we heard this, let me back up for a minute. After we heard all of that, right? PBC rolled their whole schedule out. Y'all remember that? They gave everybody a 6-month timeline of programming and production on their platform with regards to the sport of boxing from January all the way to now. It was actually from January to May, actually. January to May. And then now you got Terrence Bud Crawford versus Errol Spence starting in July, and we're going to move and we're going to roll. We're going to steamroll for the rest of the year. Best videos. Good question. I got to post this. I love using teachable moments. I have to post this. That's a very good question, best videos. Y'all see that on your screen? Let me ask you if you can't see, if you just listen to the audio of this. Best videos asks, is the PBC offering the money or Showtime? I'm going to leave that up there so I won't forget to answer your question. Now, we've heard all of these rumors from people who are not credible. I don't want to talk bad about those guys. I'm not talking bad. I'm just speaking the facts. Okay? We got to keep it all. What I always tell y'all, we got to call it down the middle and deal with what's real and call a spade a spade. That's all I'm doing. We've heard this time and time again. And then PBC spin the block on all them rumors, bang, and then produce something. Now, I told y'all what Crawford had to do to secure the biggest fight and the biggest bag money of his career to go sign with the PBC multi-fight deal. No different than what Pacquiao did to secure the fight with Floyd Mayweather. And Terrence Crawford, he did that. And now we hear Canelo Alvarez doing the same exact thing. Canelo Alvarez signed a multi-fight deal with the PBC. Why do everybody want to deal with Al Heyman? Why do everybody want to deal with the promoter Tom Brown, who's a good man, by the way? I've had several encounters with Tom Brown. A lot of respect for Mr. Tom Brown. Anyway, and Sam Watson, my guy too. Now, why do people want to do business with them? Why? They must be doing something right. I call it good business. They're still here. Now, somebody's telling me that Manny Pacquiao didn't sign to the PBC to fight Floyd. No problem. No problem. We know that Manny Pacquiao was still with Top Rank. We know that. But what I'm talking about is the results. He wouldn't have been able to get that fight if he wouldn't have put, you know what, I'm doing way too much talking. Let's look at Pacquiao's fights. He went over to the PBC, and who was his first fight with PBC? Adrian Broner. Right or wrong? What was his second fight with PBC for the WBA welterweight championship title? Keith Thurman. Okay. What was his third fight with the PBC to defend the WBA title that he won from Keith Thurman? What was his third fight? You've guessed it, Ugas. Now, since he didn't have to sign with PBC to fight Floyd, no problem. How many more fights can somebody please tell me in the chat? I just want to make sure my business is on point. I just want to make sure my memory serves me correctly. Can somebody tell me in the chat? Just somebody. How many more fights did Pacquiao fight under PBC after Ugas? Just a question. I want to make sure my memory serves me correct. Y'all can Google it if you want. I just want to know. How many more reputable fights? Let me just say it that way. How many more reputable fights did he fight? Oh, okay. I see in the chat says 0. That's what I thought. 3-fight deal. So when you say he didn't have to sign with PBC to fight Floyd, that was the whole purpose. That was the whole purpose. That's why I told y'all on YSM Sports Media that Crawford is going to have to do what Pacquiao did. It don't matter if it was years later. It got done. In other words, you think a promoter is going to let you come over to their platform, beat their top fighter, and just walk away scot-free, that's not good business. Which ties me into my next point about Devin Haney. I know I'm a little animated, y'all. I've been going for a week. I've been going off a live for a week, so I know I'm a little high. I'm gonna calm down in a minute. I'm gonna calm down. But that segues me to my point about Devin Haney. Because you've heard me recently publish a video, and I said it live on record right here, that Devin Haney is going to have to do the same thing that they did. Matter of fact, I said it on YSM Sports Media on an interview, last month? Yeah, a couple weeks ago. Maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. Maybe 3 weeks ago. Yeah, about Devin Haney signing with PBC to secure the biggest fight of his career with the biggest money, bag, and fighting Tank Davis. Right? So what I'm trying to get y'all to understand is that when you hear somebody giving you false information, you have to learn how to dismiss it. You have to. If they're not presenting no facts, no evidence, you must dismiss it. I always tell y'all this every segment, and I'm going to have to say it again because it's very relevant, right? We are all human, no matter where we are from, no matter where we're located, no matter what city, state, island, and or country we represent, we are all human. And God built a mechanism in every single human called discernment. And with this discernment, it takes cultivating, right? But with this discernment, when you hear truth, I say this every segment, I got to do it again. When you hear truth, you might not believe it at first. You might even challenge it. You might not even accept it in live time. But when you walk away, confirmation of that truth is going to be produced. But the opposite effect happens with a lie. When you hear a lie, it just sounds like the truth. Until later on, something confirms it, and you have to be the one. You, the human, have to be the one with the cultivating discernment to say, you know what? I know how to chew the meat and spit out the bones and dismiss false rumors and allegations. It was a false rumor going around about PBC for a whole year. Salute to Omega Red, my guy. And look what's happening. They unrolled the whole schedule out for us, and then they keep signing people. Sign Terrence Crawford. And then sign Canelo. In a matter of 90 days, they signed 2 great world champions. It don't get no better than that when you're producing good business. I'm just saying. Terrence Crawford is the same one that told each and every last one of us in November of 2022 that BLK Prime is the new wave. And that's what he told us. That's all I'm saying. That's what he told us. He said all of that, and guess where he's at? PBC and Al Haymon. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Adrian Broner told us too. PBC. I mean, not PBC. BLK Prime is the new wave. That's what he said. But where's he at? He over there with Don King Productions. I'm just saying. What I'm basically saying is this. It's hard to compete against PBC. It's hard to compete against Showtime. It's hard. It's hard to compete against them. They number 1 in the world. I know people are going to say, oh man, Jamarty, ESPN is a global. I got that. But remember, ESPN covers all of the sports. They're supposed to be global. I'm talking about boxing, and that's the only sport I'm referring to. I'm only hyped, y'all. I ain't been here for a week. I'm going to calm down in a minute. Just let me get mine. Listen, I'm happy to see you all. Y'all like my favorite cousin at the cookout. All right? I'm just excited right now. I love doing this, y'all. I want to let you know I love this. If I had more time, I would be like a full-time, like do lives every day, man, But my point is this: it's hard to compete against them. Now, let me segue that into my educational purpose of this question you see on your screen. Is the PBC offering the money or Showtime? Now I'm going to give you business, best videos, and everybody else watching live and living color. Hey, YSM, if you're still here. No, Nito and Rachel, if you're still here, I want to tell you something. The viewership. Oh, I know I'm in competition. I know I'm in competition this morning. It ain't nothing personal, it's just business. But the viewership is increasing exponentially. I got merchandise I'm working on. So don't be surprised when you see the word exponentially written on one of my shirts, all right? Now, this is how you segue into how that works. Let's say I am a promoter, right? And let's say I have 30 fighters that I am promoting that's signed under my company, my promotional banner. And let's just hypothetically say that there's a network called Showtime, and they produce boxing. Now, I have 30 boxers signed under my promotional banner as a promoter, right? Showtime, because they are a programming platform, right? Yes, they are subscriber based, but they are a platform that produce content, right? They produce content. Now, I'm a promoter. I have 30 boxers signed in a contractual agreement with my promotion company. They are the product. I go to Showtime and say, Showtime, I have product. And the product is so good that the product is going to produce content for your viewership. And in exchange for this product producing content, they need to be compensated. So the Showtime executives on the phone will say, no problem, we're going to create a budget. Now, I can't promise that we're going to get all 30 of your fighters on the network at one specific time, but let's see if we can work something out maybe for maybe 2 or 3 years. Let's just say 3 years, right? 30 fighters, let's just say 3 years. And now we go and negotiate for the terms, the conditions, the compensation, licensing fees. That's what I'm really getting at with that when I talk about compensation. Now we got all of that materialized. And the deal is structured. I'm just using this for hypothetical purposes, you all, just so that you can understand. This is just a reference for all of you to understand, to answer the question that's on your screen right now. Now, Showtime needs content. I have product that produces content, the fighters. We go into the office, we make an agreement, 3-year agreement for, let's say, this amount of money, right? X amount of dollars. Now, promoter says, okay, that's the money that we're going to receive. Great, because my job as the promoter is to always let Showtime executives understand that my product can go anywhere else. They can go on ESPN. They can go on DAZN. Hey, they can even go on BLK Prime, their platform that produce boxing content. So what I'm saying is you're in competition. So we're not just going to go with whatever number you come up with, because I can take my fighters and we can go on other people's platform. There's no problem. But as the promoter, the reason why I'm asking you, Showtime, is because you have a parent company, CBS. Now, I can go to ESPN, whose parent company at one point in time might still be Walt Disney. But I'm coming to you because I know you can create a budget for the licensing fees that I'm going to charge you in exchange for my product producing content on your platform. Now, bam, numbers are in. The deal is fair. Both parties sign on the dotted line. So to answer your question, best videos, and anybody else that wanted to know this, the promoter, because they have the promoter, me in this example, I'm the promoter who has 30 fighters signed in a contractual agreement with my company, right? So because of that, I can charge the network licensing fees, which they are paying for the product to produce content on their platform. Let's say for 3 years. So that means that at least 20 of the 30 fighters, we can put them in boxing events, or all 30 of them. Let's just say all 30 of them. I just say 30 of them. All 30 of the fighters that I represent, we can put them in boxing matches throughout the entire 3-year term. Remember, boxing is not it's not 80 games. Like you got to go to like 80 games like the NBA, MLB, football, NFL have 17 games. It's not like that. It's not like every single week or twice a week. It's not like that. But we can build on 3 years of solid content because we have the good product that's going to produce that content fighting either each other or other opponents. Bottom line is we're killing 2 birds with 1 stone. We're giving the exposure to the fighters that signed to my my promotion company, and we're building their resume at the same time, and they're getting paid. So really 3 stones. And the reason why I didn't say getting paid first, because we already know professionals get paid when they fight. I didn't have to say that. So we're building up the fighters to reach a certain plateau, and at the same time, we're giving them the exposure to be introduced to an audience that's going to be consistently buying into the product. So to answer the question about is the PBC offering the money or Showtime? No, Showtime has paid the licensing fees for the product to produce content. But the promotion company is paying the fighters directly. Want to know why I can say that? Because just because one fighter have one deal with a promotion company does not necessarily mean that that deal is the same for another fighter. Case in point, we're hearing that Canelo Alvarez signed a 3-fight or at least a multi-fight deal with PBC worth $100 million. Well, we don't know if Terrence bought Crawford. We do know he signed a multi-fight deal with PBC, but we don't know if it's for $100 million. So just because a fighter signed to a promotional company does not necessarily mean all of the terms are the same with regards to compensation. Because you have 4-round fighters, you have 8-round fighters, you have 10-round fighters, you have, I forgot 6. You got 6-round fighters. So you got 4-round fighters, 6-round fighters, 8-round fighters, 10-round fighters, 12-round fighters, and they all get paid differently, as you can imagine, right? So I just want to make sure I answer the question. The bottom line is, best videos and whoever else, is that the money is there because of the budget. And I wish Rick Glazer or anybody else challenged me on this. ESPN's budget is not as large as Showtime's. That is a guaranteed fact. Showtime has a larger budget that they create for boxing than ESPN does. That's a fact. Now, somebody's going to say, man, Jamarty, that's not true. Oh, okay, no problem. Let's use Tank Davis and Devin Haney as an example. When Tank Davis fought Ryan Garcia, just an example now, the price point was different. And they both fought on pay-per-view platforms. Lomachenko and Haney fought on ESPN Plus, and we already know Tank and Ryan fought on Showtime, the pay-per-view arm of Showtime. The price point is different. Why? Because the budget is different. One line item in budgeting is marketing and promotion. And we do marketing and promotion through programming. That's why you have different segments like All Access over there at Showtime. And I forgot what it's called, Fight Day or something over at ESPN. That's all programming to build and market the fight. Somebody got to pay for that. That's not free. The man or woman holding that camera is getting paid. The man or woman that's doing post-editing after the footage is filmed, they're getting paid. Somebody got paid, but it ain't free. The digital flyers you see circulating all around social media, that's not free. The venue where we're going to hold the press conference at, that's not free. These expenses and line items are itemized in the budget for these elements that's involved in promoting the fight. So if Tank Davis fight Ryan Garcia and their cheapest price point, their cheapest live gate ticket is $1,200, all the way in section 625. I don't think there's a 625, but let's just say 625. Where they fight at again? Let me back up. Somebody in the chat tell me, what city and state did Tank Davis fight Ryan Garcia in? Somebody in the chat. Can somebody tell me that? City and state that Tank Davis fought Ryan Garcia in. Quickly. Can somebody tell me in the chat real quick? Where's the interaction? Come on, y'all. Where we at today? Can somebody engage with me in the chat? Somebody? Ryan Garcia, Tank Davis. What city and state did they fight in? It was in April, a couple months ago. Ryan Garcia, Tank Davis. All right, I see 3 people in the chat. 4 people says Vegas. Is that true? Was it in Vegas? Ryan Garcia, Tank Davis. Was that in Vegas? Okay, people in the chat is saying it happened in Vegas. Great. Can somebody in the chat now tell me what city and state did Lomachenko fight Devin Haney in? Somebody in the chat tell me. What city and state did Lomachenko fight Devin Haney in? Okay, thank you. Las Vegas. So Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia fought in the same city and state. I think it was T-Mobile Arena. Same city and state. No, I think they fought at MGM. I think Ryan and Tank fought. Bottom line is the same city and state. That's where I'm going with this. Same city and state. Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis fought in Las Vegas. Devin Haney and Lomachenko fought Las Vegas. Okay, T-Mobile Arena, MGM Grand, fine. It was in Las Vegas, Nevada, is where I'm going with that. The reason why I'm bringing this up is to illustrate my point about the budgeting and business. Devin and Lomachenko fought in Las Vegas, Nevada. They fought at MGM. Tank and Ryan fought T-Mobile Arena. 2 totally different venues, sizes included, but in the same city and in the same state. And in that city and state of Las Vegas, Nevada, Haney lives there. But that didn't stop the price point. That's where I'm going with that. Business. $1,200 was the cheapest ticket over there in section 625, if there's ever one. Highest level. When Ryan Garcia fought Tank Davis. But that same $1,200, you could have went to the MGM Grand last month to watch Lomachenko versus Devin Haney close up to the ring. I'm not saying ringside, but close enough where you can see all the action with no hesitation or interruption, compared to being in section 625 where everybody looked like little ants. And you got to look at the whole video screen to see the fight and enjoy it. I'm talking about business, y'all. That's what I'm talking about. So when I hear who pays who, Showtime, PBC, look at everything around it. And that's how you know about the money part of who's paying who and how much they're getting paid to answer Best Video's question a different way. So what I'm getting at is Canelo Alvarez, he did what Manny Pacquiao did. Canelo Alvarez, he did what Terrence Crawford did. And that signed a multi-fight deal with PBC. In fact, PBC signed Crawford and Canelo within 90 days apiece. Whew. Good business. How can you hate on good business? As the viewership is increasing exponentially, I see another family member of mine in the chat. Salute, D-Town Boxing. What's going on, my brother? Now we're waiting for one more fighter who's a free agent to go over to PBC, do what Pacquiao did, do what Crawford did, do what Canelo just did, and that's signed a multi-fight deal with PBC. Yeah, I'm talking about Devin Haney. Go on over there and go sign with Al. I said it on YSM Sports Media. He just interviewed me, like a month ago, 3 weeks ago? I said it on his. I'm going to say the same thing I'm saying now. Now, I'm glad that Devin Haney signed with Top Rank at the time he did in a 3-fight deal. And I'm going to tell you why I'm glad. Because he's done business with Showtime already. He's done business with The Zone already. And he's done business now, since he finalized his deal, he's done business with ESPN. What is the significance of that? He has exposed himself to a new audience, a new market on pay-per-view multiple times. So now he has the ESPN audience he can gravitate from, a Showtime audience that he can gravitate from, and a DAZN audience that he can gravitate from. So he can take all three of those platforms as audiences and spin the block back on Showtime with ESPN, and his fan base is going to follow him. And then he can come to the table with more leverage. Well, him and his dad, Bill Haney. Because he has a built-in audience from 3 different streaming platforms that's going to follow him over. Remember, I talked about content. It's all about content. Follow him over to the platform that's going to produce content. I wanted to make sure I answered that question that was on the screen to give you all education. Now, let's get to the entertainment part of this. To all my new viewers watching me live and live in color, you may have missed just this part. I'm going to spin the block right now. But I was talking about the judging in Las Vegas. For the last couple of fights, we've seen some questionable scorecards. Even if the decision was right, we've seen some questionable scorecards. I made reference to this on Thursday when I published a video basically recapping my perspective on what Roy Jones Jr. said when he was recently interviewed by, I think, Fight Hub TV. And he said that he would not be surprised if Terrence Bud Crawford knocks out Errol Spence. But he would be surprised if Spence stops Crawford. And in that video, I made a reference to the judges in Vegas. I made a reference. But it's because their scorecards have been questionable, with the exception of Ryan Garcia versus Tank, because we know how that fight ended. But their scorecards, whether they got the right winner or the wrong winner, their scorecards have been questionable. And I'm talking about as a whole, the judges. But we've seen and heard Tim Bradley on Max on Boxing's platform. And he gave his reasoning about the judges. Now, we both spoke on the judges. It just so happened I spoke on a Thursday. And then as of, I think, yesterday, Max on Boxing produced that interview that he did with Tim Bradley. But we had different reasons. Different reasons. Thank you, Gregory Quarterbaum, for your contribution and your support to the channel. Gregory says, "This is why I support you, Manager Marty. Give up the business game to the viewers." Thank you so much for your contribution and your support, Mr. Greg. Absolutely. Absolutely. Going to give up the business game to all of you live and in living color right here on another episode of what? Roll the Tape. And speaking of roll the tape, we're going to roll the tape on what Tim Bradley said his reasoning was for questioning the judges in Las Vegas with regard to the fight between Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence. Don't take my word for it. Roll the tape.
We're going to fight on July 29th. Who wins and how?
Oh man, that's a great question. They're fighting, Max. That's how you're gonna know who's gonna win the fight. They're fighting, but I have some concerns. I really do. And the first thing that came to mind is can Crawford win a decision in Vegas? You have to understand this. You look at the history of Crawford and the way he starts fights. He's a bit of a slow starter, and you think about the way Spence starts fights. He's quick. He's quick out the gate. He's consistent with his offense. And going down the stretch, if he gets behind on the scorecards, Crawford, he's going to need a knockout to win in Vegas. And you got to understand that the history of the judging in Vegas. I remember the Floyd Mayweather era where defense was, thought to be great, and you were getting points for defense. But now it has shifted. Now it's more about the aggressive fighter, the fighter that throws more punches. That's what I'm seeing from Vegas judges now. Guys that are in your face, pressing the action, being the aggressor, and we know Spence is that guy. So that's my concern moving forward in this fight. But my pick has always been Terrence Crawford. I think.
Did y'all hear what Tim Bradley said? Let's do an audio check. Let's do an audio check. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Can someone in the chat, or even in the comment section below, if you're watching the replay of this live, can somebody just acknowledge? I just want to do this for audio purposes only. Can you acknowledge if you heard what Tim Bradley said just now? Can y'all hear that? I had it on the highest volume with my iPad. Did y'all hear that? Can somebody in the chat let me know, yes or no, if you all can hear that? I didn't want any interruption. Did y'all hear that? Okay, somebody said yes. Thank you. 2 people said yes. Oh, 3. Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. 4 people. Thank y'all so much for your support. Y'all heard what Bradley said, right? That's what Bradley said. Now we're going to air fry on that. I have to. It's only right. Before I air fry on that, though, I find it very intriguing. I do. I find it intriguing. Not that he's picking Crawford to win this fight. I don't find that intriguing. That's his man. That's his guy. That's cool with me. I don't mind if people say Crawford's going to win. I don't mind if people say Spence is going to win. But I seen something in this interview that was totally different. That I don't understand, that intrigues me. Tim Bradley, just like most Terrence Bud Crawford fans, have said, I'm talking about on YouTube, specifically on this channel, in my chat, in my comment section, have said that Terrence Bud Crawford is going to knock Errol Spence out. They're basically going to fillet the fish, so to speak. They're going to take Spence out as Bomac even said Spence is done. So the part that's intriguing me about this thing with Terrence Crawford fighting Spence and Tim Bradley choosing Crawford to win, initially people keep saying he's going to knock him out. He's going to stop Spence. So my question becomes to Tim Bradley, why are we talking about the judges in the first place? If Crawford's going to knock Spence out or stop him, like Tank Davis did Ryan Garcia, they didn't need no judges. Their scorecards didn't matter after round 7 because the fight was over, right? So if this same outcome is going to happen with Spence, why are we talking about the judges? Max Kellerman did not ask Tim Bradley about the judges. He didn't ask him about it. So why all of a sudden now? First it was Crawford's going to wash the floor with Spence. Why are we talking about the judges now in Vegas? I mean, what else are we going to have this fight at? Wasn't going to have it in Nebraska. Wasn't going to have it in Dallas, Texas. We need a neutral ground, right? So where else are we going to have this fight at? To produce the amount of revenue that as promoters, as businessmen and women, we want this fight to produce. As the fighters themselves who's being compensated as well. What else? Vegas. So why Tim Bradley bringing this up now? He didn't say nothing about the judges before. Matter of fact, I don't even remember Tim Bradley bringing the judges up before the Lomachenko and Haney fight. Did y'all? Maybe I missed something. Because that fight happened in Vegas and we just already agreed to all of that in the chat. Lomachenko fought Devin Haney in Vegas, and that was on the same platform that pays Tim Bradley, ESPN, right? Oh, okay, so then why didn't we hear Tim Bradley bring up the judges in that fight? Before that fight happened, like before this fight's happening with Crawford and Spence, I didn't hear Tim Bradley say, oh man, you gotta watch out for the judges. The judges might be, you gotta watch out because they look for certain things now. It's changed, since the Floyd Mayweather era. You gotta watch out when we talk about Lomachenko being an aggressor and how Devin Haney is a technician. We gotta watch out for the judges. I didn't hear him say that before that fight. Did y'all? So why now? Why talk about it now? This fight's happening in Vegas. And the same judges that judge that fight over there with Haney and Lomachenko, they can be the same judges that judge this fight with Crawford and Spence because it's still under the Nevada State Athletic Commission. That's intriguing to me. Now, I'm going to roll the tape back about 20 seconds because I want y'all to hear something else that Tim Bradley said. Hold on 1 second. Let me cue it up.
Who wins and how?
Oh man, that's a great question. They're fighting Max. That's how you're gonna know who's gonna win the fight. They're fighting. But I have some concerns. I really do. And the first thing that came to mind is can Crawford win a decision in Vegas?
Stop. Why is that a concern of yours, Crawford? He said he has a concern. Why is that a concern? Why? If the man's going to knock Spence out anyway, nobody should be concerned. If you believe that Crawford's going to knock Errol Spence out, there's nothing to be concerned about. Shall we continue?
You have to understand this. You look at the history of Crawford and the way he starts fights. He's a bit of a slow starter, and you think about the way Spence starts fights. He's quick. He's quick out the gate.
Stop right there. Look at the way that Crawford starts fights. That's what Bradley said, y'all. He starts too slow. And compare that to the way Spence starts fights. He's quick. He's alive out the gate. These are the words of Tim Bradley. Shall we continue?
You know, he's consistent with his offense. You know, and
Spence is consistent with his offense. Not only is he quick as a starter, he jumps live out the gate. And what else did he just say? He's quick with his offense.
Down the stretch, you know, if he gets behind on the scorecards, Crawford, he's going to need a knockout to win.
Stop. If he gets behind on the scorecards, Crawford, he's going to need a knockout to win. That's what Tim Bradley just said. Y'all heard him. What do you mean if, Tim Bradley? What do you mean if he gets behind on the scorecards? He's not going to be behind on the scorecards, Tim Bradley, because you and other Crawford fans said that he's going to knock Spence out anyway. So he's not going to be down on the score. And even if he is, he was down on the scorecards when he fought Sean Porter. Y'all remember that? And when Bo Mack told him, what was that, the 10th round or 9th round? He told him, yo, you losing this fight. And Crawford came out and knocked Sean Porter down. Y'all remember that? And then his dad stepped in and stopped the fight. Y'all remember that? That was the talking point of Terrence Ball Crawford fans all around the world. They kept saying when Terrence Ball Crawford came out of that round, he demolished Sean Porter. So my question is, if that's the case, it don't matter if he's down on the scorecards. He was down on the scorecards when he fought Porter. So what difference do it make if he's going to knock the guy out anyway? Salute to my guy, Philly Fight Doctor. Always a pleasure. I love seeing family in the chat. If Crawford was down on the scorecards when he fought Sean Porter, and his trainer, Bo Mack, told him, you're losing this fight. And Crawford came out that round and knocked Sean Porter down, and then eventually getting a TKO stoppage. What difference does it make, Tim Bradley, if he's down on the scorecards? So, I have another question, and we need answers from Tim Bradley himself and for some Bud Crawford fans. I want to hear what you think as a Crawford fan, what Mr. Bradley said. You heard him live in living color right here. If you didn't hear that segment of Max on Boxing before today, you heard it just now. So the question I have, Tim Bradley, are you concerned about the judges? You know how the judges in Vegas, they score fights based on the fighter's aggression and the other fighter's defensive, technical, and tactical performance. Is that your concern? Or are you concerned about something else? Because what it sounds like to me, and I just rolled the tape and heard it again for myself, just, again, while I was replaying it for y'all. Tim Bradley told us what he really was concerned about. And he didn't say anything about the judges first. See, when you really want to know how a person feels, what do I tell you? I told you, now I got to give you another life principle. Every segment I do a life principle. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. When we say things out of our mouths, it comes from what's rooted in our hearts. And Tim Bradley said what was rooted in his heart. He said he had some concerns. But he didn't say his concern was the judges first. I'm going to replay it again because I don't want no misunderstandings. I'm going to replay it again so we can hear the abundance of his heart bring up the first thing that he was concerned about. Let me play it again. I'm going to roll the tape again. Give me a second. Hold on. Don't take my word for it. Let's hear the first thing from the abundance of the heart of Tim Bradley that came out of his mouth. The first concern that he has. Don't take my word for it. I ain't do this in a long time. Roll the tape.
Look at the history of Crawford and the way he starts fights. He's a bit of a slow starter, and you think about the way Spence starts fights. He's quick out the gate. You know, he's consistent with his offense. You know, and going down the stretch, you know, if he gets behind on the scorecards, Crawford, he's going to need a knockout to win in Vegas. And you got to understand that the judges, the history.
Stop. Stop. Y'all know I have a problem with gaslighting, right? Y'all know I have a problem with projection, right? Y'all know I have a problem with manipulation, right? Y'all know I have a problem with, you know what? Y'all seen how I solve those problems, and I'm going to solve it right now with people that have been on this platform that try to do the same thing Bradley doing, right? Okay, great. Tim Bradley is trying to marry 2 points together. That's what he's trying to do. Nobody asked him about the judges. The question was, how do you see this fight playing out? And Bradley, a Hall of Famer, we have to give his words credibility. Tim Bradley is a Hall of Fame professional boxer. His words hold weight, and we're going to allow those same words to hold weight right now. Tim Bradley gave us his truth. His truth was, I have a concern. He didn't say, well, the judges, they haven't been doing too well in their previous outings, judging fights in Vegas. That's not what he said. His real, true, genuine concern is that Crawford is a slow starter and Spence jumps out live out the gate as a quick starter. And Spence attacks on offense. And coming down the stretch of the fight, Crawford may be down on the scorecards and might need a knockout. That's Tim Bradley's true concern. It had nothing to do with the judges, because here's the thing that we all know about judges. They don't get in the ring and fight. They follow a scoring criteria. And I've already given you the scoring criteria a couple of weeks ago on this channel. The point that I'm making is that Tim Bradley seems to me, I'm not speaking on nobody else, I'm talking on me, that he's already trying to get into the minds of the fan base and manipulate the boxing public to believe that the judges are going to have it out for Crawford way before this fight starts. So my question a few minutes ago before I rolled the tape, I'm going to ask it again. If the judges in Vegas is a problem for Tim Bradley, why didn't he call the judges out before Lomachenko fought Devin Haney? Because those were judges that were being regulated by the Nevada State Athletic Commission, right? Because that fight happened in Vegas as well, correct? Okay, so why didn't he say nothing about the judges before Lomachenko fought Haney? And they fought on ESPN, and Tim Bradley was there. He ain't say nothing about the judges then. Tim Bradley didn't mention nothing about his concern for the judges in Vegas when Haney fought Lomachenko. So why now? Why talk about the judges before this fight happened in Vegas between Crawford and Spence? Want to know why? I'm going to tell you, it's very simple. It's because the judges is not his concern. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. And watch this other second principle that ties right into that. It's not what goes into your mouth that defiles you as a person. It's the words that come out of your mouth. Because the words that come out of our mouths come from where? Our hearts. And if Tim Bradley genuinely believed out of his heart of hearts that the Vegas judges has been an issue over the years since the Floyd Mayweather era, his words not mine, why didn't he speak up about the judges in Vegas before Haney and Lomachenko? So now we realize that's not the issue. He's trying to coincide both. He's trying to co-mingle both points, and we're not going to let him do that on the roller tape pot. I've been going for a week. So I got to come back with fire now. Air fryers, man, air fryer been turned up. So now we're going to dispel that myth and throw that out the garbage can. We're going to throw that out. Now, and we ain't talking about no judges. That's out of it now, Tim Bradley. You ain't speak on it against Haney and Lomachenko before they fought in Vegas. So now we gonna throw that out. We're gonna throw that out. And we're gonna stick to the real concern you have. And the real concern that Tim Bradley had. And he said it, not my words. Y'all heard it. I played the tape back about 2 or 3 times. He's concerned that Terrence Bud Crawford starts slow. The judges don't have nothing to do with that. He's concerned that Errol Spence is a quick starter with speed. And he jumps out live from the gate. The judges don't have nothing to do with that. He's concerned that coming down the stretch of the fight, you know, when Spence usually turns up after the 7th round, y'all know what I'm talking about, right? When he jumps into second gear, y'all know what I'm talking about, right? When he changes levels, y'all know what I'm talking about, right? Down the stretch of the fight, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's what Tim Bradley was talking about. Yeah, let's keep it 100. So, the judges don't have nothing to do with that either. So the real concern has nothing to do with the judges. Maybe Tim Bradley, since he's cool with Crawford, maybe he need to go over there and tell them that. He need to go to Bomac and them and tell them that. Because if you listen to what I said on previous live broadcasts right here, D-Town Boxing is a witness of mine. BBO Boxing, witness of mine. YSM Sports Media, a witness of mine. Crown Jewel Boxing, witness of mine. They've been on my panel several times with us talking about who's going to win and how. And guess what Manager Marty said? Thank you, Tim Bradley. I'll take the alley-oop. I said the same thing that Bradley said. If Crawford wanted to win this fight, he can't sit back and wait like he like to download information. That's what everybody keeps saying. He sits back for 3 or 4 rounds and download information. He can't do that with Spence. He's got to jump right out at Spence. He cannot afford to be down 3 or 4 rounds in a row. When a guy like Spence, who turns up after the 6th and 7th round, and he changes his levels, can't do that. I said it. So thank you, Tim Bradley, because what you're doing is you are confirming some of the same suspicions that Spence fans have against Crawford winning this fight. So maybe Bradley need to keep it 100. Don't bring the judges in this. Keep it real. Your concern ain't got nothing to do with the judges deep down in your heart, Bradley. It got something to do with the fact that Crawford starts slow. Downloading information. And not just slow to download information. It's the fact that Crawford starts slow and downloads information against a transit bus driver. He starts slow and download information against the Uber drivers. He starts and download information against the UPS driver and the mailman. That's the concern. In other words, is no disrespect to those professions. I love and respect those professions. What I'm saying is the level of competition. The opposition that Terrence Bud Crawford has faced, this is not an opinion, this is a fact, has been against lower level competition in the welterweight division, against at least 2 fighters who were already done and defeated, Kell Brook and Khan. My point is, he was downloading information against people who were not on the same level, performance-wise, skill-wise, domination-wise, as Spence. So if you downloading information and it's taking you 3 rounds to do all that, and then you got to switch hit and do all this extra pull and all these tools out the toolbox and all that for them, you're going to need the kitchen sink to fight Spence. And you got to use that kitchen sink in a very opening bell. I've been saying this time and time again, and Bradley just confirmed it. I'm not the only one that's been saying it. Some of you have been saying it in the chat. I'm not the only one that's been saying it. There were people on my panel who have been saying the same thing. Other content creators may have said it. I'm not sure because I don't go on a lot of content creators' channels and follow everything that they say. So I don't know. I just don't want to leave nobody out. I know I'm not the only one that said this. My point is that that's the concern of Bradley. But instead of keeping it 100, instead of being real and sticking in with integrity, as I always tell you we do on this channel, he wanted to bring in and gaslight and bring the judges in. No, they don't have nothing to do with because the judges don't control nothing I just said. In fact, the judges don't control nothing that Bradley said. It's not the judges. We got to keep it real. Call a spade, and deal with what's real. And what's real is Terrence Bud Crawford cannot start slow in this fight. What's real is Terrence Bud Crawford, as soon as the bell opened, he's got to produce. And here's the great thing about what Spence did, which might be to his detriment because now he's giving the game plan up, but we'll see. Spence said, as soon as the bell ring in the first round, I'm stepping. Spence told him that. If Spence tell you I'm stepping, Spence gonna step. So it ain't gonna be no Spence gonna step and then you backing up down low. No. He told Crawford that he was gonna step. And we already know what that means in boxing. And we know that on the street. And we know that in the world. Somebody said they're gonna step, they are initiating the contact. Yeah, they initiating the contact. So if that's the case, then all that downloading information, waiting to counter, because we know that's what Terrence Crawford do. It's not an opinion. That is a fact. Terrence Bud Crawford has gotten fighters knocked down, hurt, or TKO'd in the last 10 fights, including the last 6 or 7 that he's done in the welterweight division, has been after counterpunching them. That is a fact. I know that's a part of his strategy because that's a part of his game plan. I know that's a part of his game plan because that's a part of his makeup. I'm not criticizing Crawford for that. What I'm saying is that's not the game plan that's going to work when the man's stepping. That's not with Spence. Ebenezer, yes. Sit back, wait for a counter. Amir Khan, yes. Sit back, counter. Kell Brook, yes. Sit back, counter. You can do that to them. Will he be able to land shots? Yes. He can catch Spence in between Spence's shots with the counter. Absolutely. But for doing that for 12 rounds straight, that's not a good game plan. So the real concern of Bradley is what I just said. Had nothing to do with the judges. We don't deal with gaslighting on this channel. What's up, Dahlia? I see you, sweetheart, in the chat. We don't deal with that. And speaking of that, let me stop my show because I only saw one, but it might be more. And I don't want to leave nobody out. Salute to all the women that are watching me live and live in color. Thank you for your viewership and your support. I salute you, women. Thank you, women, if you're watching the replay of this live. Even if you don't choose to comment, I'm okay with that. Just your viewership and support alone suffices for me, and I salute you, women. Thank you so much. So my point is, y'all know I got to stop my show for the ladies. Come on, stop. Y'all know. So my point is, that's the real concern for Tim Bradley. That's the real concern. And I keep it 100. Try to bring the judges up in it because if you believe Terrence Crawford going to knock him out anyway, he ain't going to need no judges. We didn't need no judges in Vegas when Ryan Garcia fought Tank Davis. We ain't need no judges then after the 7th round, right? Okay then. So we're not going to need no judges now if you believe Crawford's going to beat Spence. Right or wrong? Am I making any sense here? Because I might not be making sense. But I will tell you who's going to help me make sense if I'm not. The link is in the chat. Y'all know who that's for, right? Y'all know who that link is for in the chat? Sure you do. Sure you know who that link is for in the chat. because I want to hear what Terrence Bud Crawford fans themselves think about what Tim Bradley said. I want to hear what they say about the judging. Not you, Greg. I know you always come up. Hold your horses, Greg. Not you, Greg. I know there's a Terrence Bud Crawford fan in the chat, or just watching outside of the chat, or just viewing live. I know. So I want to know what Crawford fans think about the judges in Vegas. What they think about what Bradley said. I'm trying to pin the link to the top, and it's giving me some issues. But don't worry about it. Excuse me. Terrence Bud Crawford fans, this segment is for you. I already have 10 episodes. I pieced them all together, different times of the segments, different broadcasts, but I've already condensed them down to 10 episodes. And so we're not going to stop. I told you how long we're going to do this nip it in the bud segment. I told you that. Remember, I told you we're going to do this every live up until the Terrence Bud Crawford versus Errol Spence fight. I told y'all that. Now it's going to be different topics, of course, but I just want Terrence Bud Crawford fans to come onto the panel, come onto the platform live, unscripted. The viewership is increasing exponentially, and we're waiting for you. You have a platform now. You don't have to wait to this live broadcast go over and start talking in my comment section. You ain't got to wait. You don't have to wait until somebody else jump on and then you be in the chat. No, you ain't got to wait. You can come on live and in living color. Come on and speak your piece. Give us a perspective so that we can have an open dialogue. And I say we, I'm talking about you as a Crawford fan and we as the audience. Come on in. Michael Saucedo, I see you in the chat. I see it. You call me Tardy Marty. You're a Bud fan. I've already cooked you on this panel, so I don't think that your Tardy Marty term is a term of endearment, and I'm okay with it, even if it is not. But Mike, you are more than welcome now, Mike, to come on up. Come on up, Mike. Give us your verdict, Mike. We know that you are a Terrence Bud Crawford fan. We know that. Come on up. I want to know from Crawford fans themselves, what do they think about the judges going into this fight? Do they think Bud Crawford's going to get a fair shake? What's your take on what Bradley said? The link is in the chat, and we're waiting for you. Come on in. There's only one criteria. The only criteria is that you're a Terrence Bud Crawford fan. That's it. That's all it is. If you are a Terrence Bud Crawford, that's it. Come on in, though. Come on in. We're not going to bite. We're just going to have a dialogue. Come on in. Link is in the chat. I'm about to pin it to the top. Just a few seconds. I'm going to pin it right to the top. Well, at least I'm trying to pin it to the top. I don't know. I'll keep trying. It won't let me. Yeah, come on in. Yes. Come on in. Let's talk about it. No Bud Crawford fans today? None? No Terrence Bud Crawford fans today? Nowhere? Wow. Okay, that's interesting. Besides Greg, besides him. Not Mr. Greg. Not him. Any Terrence Bud Crawford fans? Are you here? Anybody? No? You're not here? I find it amazing. You know I'm going to say this every segment, right? I find it amazing that Terrence Bud Crawford fans, they use... Oh, let me stop. Jamal Neasy, I always see you in my chat. And I've asked you to come on before, brother. Come on up. Come on up. That's all I'm saying. Just come on up. I want to hear. I'm giving Terrence Bud Crawford fans a platform to be able to render your assessments, your analysis of any topic we talk about in the live stream. So what I want to know, well, go get them. Somebody just told me they're all on Fanon's channel right now. Somebody go get them and tell them we waiting for them. It's like, no, I'm just playing. Y'all can, though. We ain't going to back down. Y'all can. It don't matter. But my point is, I created a platform called Nip It in the Bud for Bud Crawford fans. Come on the platform. We talking about the topic of judging now. Because another Crawford supporter, Tim Bradley, spoke on the judges. So I want to hear what Terrence Bud Crawford fans think about what he said. Talk about what he said. What do you think about it? Talk about it. Let's speak on it. We want to hear your perspective of it. Not only that, but what do you personally think about the judges going into this fight? That's all I'm saying. Salute to you, Jackie. I see you in the chat. Michael Saucedo, come on up. I don't understand. Y'all being studio gangsters now. Let's see my fingers. Y'all been in the thing with the fingers. Come on up. I'm giving you a platform so that you don't have to use your hands and your fingers to be in the chat. And just come on up. That's all you got to do. J-Rock, what up? I like J-Rock too. J-Rock, I like J-Rock. I like, what's up, J-Rock? We know you're a Bud fan too, J-Rock, but I like, it don't matter if you're a fan of Crawford, don't matter if you're a fan of Spence. None of that is important. What's important is that Terrence Bud Crawford fans get a platform to speak your piece. Tell us what you think about the judges going into this fight between Crawford and Spence. That's all we're saying. I'm just saying. Now Michael's saying we can talk after the fight. No problem, Mike. I respect that. No problem. Now let me answer this question since Bud Crawford fans are not going to be here. I see two people in the chat saying, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. I see that. I see two people in the chat saying, I'm here. I guess they're saying that they're Terrence Bud Crawford fans. And even even Greg, Mr. Greg is in the chat. He's encouraging you all to click the link. And he's a Bud Crawford fan. We know that. But now he is even telling y'all, come on in. Give your verdict. Render your analysis. You know what I mean? Link in the chat, though, Boxing True. Link is right in the chat, though. Because I want to hear how. You say I'm hating on Bud. I want you to tell me how I'm hating on Bud. Let's have a dialogue over it. The link is right there in the chat. I just flew the kite out. Yeah, I just flew the kite out right there. Let me do this right there. No, I'm not scared to show face. Link in the chat, though. Let's talk about it. Let's have a dialogue over it. Even if you think I'm hating on Bud, hey, this is what this platform is all about. I did it all for you. Come on up, man. Let's talk about it. Let's have a dialogue, a healthy dialogue about it. Come on up. We're waiting for Terrence Bud Crawford fans for our Nip It in the Bud segment. We're not going to wait for too much longer, but we just want to have a healthy dialogue, excuse me, to see what Terrence Bud Crawford fans think about the judges going into this fight here in Vegas with Spence, and even what Tim Bradley, spoke on. You know what I mean? Boogeyman, I see you in the back. I will let you on to the stream. Under one caveat, Boogeyman, if you can at least turn your camera on. Thank you very much, Boogeyman. We have Boogeyman Crawford, actually. I didn't see the last part. Boogeyman Crawford, he is here with us, live in living color. Boogeyman, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
You sound a little bit low. Let me see if I can turn you up here. Can you hear me now, Boogeyman?
I hear you clearly. It's just, do you hear me?
Yes, indeed. I hear you loud and clear, sir. How you doing today?
I'm right. Good morning. How you
Good
doing?
morning. Welcome to the Rolling Tape Podcast with Manager Marty. I want to ask you this question to make sure that we're on the same page because the viewership is watching all around the world as the viewership is increasing exponentially. Quick question. Are you, I don't want to assume just because you say Boogeyman Crawford and your name on the screen. I just want to make sure. Are you a Terrence Bud Crawford fan?
Yes, this is Jamal Neezy.
Jamal Neezy, glad to have you, brother. You're very active in the chat. What's going on with you, sir?
I'm all right, peace. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I appreciate your viewership to the channel and even you engaging in the chat. It doesn't matter if we agree.
Yeah. I'll be watching
I
you in D-Town.
yeah, I appreciate it, man. So you're live and living color. Go ahead, brother. Let's start it off right. Speak your piece. The floor is yours.
Yeah, you had a question, so I'm trying to stick to your
Oh, all right,
how you
cool.
want your show, you know what I mean?
Man, look, we unscripted here. We unscripted. Well, wait, let me back up for a second, and then I'll ask you the question about the judges. Were you the one that said I was hating on Bud?
When today?
Yeah, in the chat. Somebody said I'm hating on Bud.
Nah, I didn't that name. I just jumped. I,
Oh, okay.
yeah, I
That
was
was
listening
somebody else.
to a different show, and then when the show cut off, your show just started. I didn't know you was live until I looked at the screen. Then I just started listening.
Oh, okay. My fault. My fault. Then that was somebody else.
No,
But so
yeah,
then
you good.
I'll ask you this question. You heard what Tim Bradley said? Tim Bradley when he was on Max on boxing. Did you hear what he said about the outcome of this fight?
I was trying to. I was listen. Uh, Literally after the other joint, I was listening, but it's automatically started on your show. So no, I didn't really get to hear.
All right, that's cool. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play. It's only like 30 seconds or something. I'm gonna play back. I'm gonna roll the tape back on what Timothy Bradley said on what he believed the outcome of this fight would be between Crawford and Spence regarding the judges. And I would love to hear your verdict on it since you are a Terrence Bud Crawford fan. Give me 1 second. Let me find that because I want to make
No
sure that
problem.
you hear the whole thing. You know what I mean? Hold on.
You're not getting no feedback from my background, right? Because music playing. You're not hearing nothing, right?
No, you good. You good. You was breaking up
All
in the
right.
beginning, but you sound perfectly clear.
All right.
All right, Jamal. This is Terrence Bud Crawford versus Errol Spence's outcome based on what Tim Bradley said after being asked about it on Max on Boxing, which is a show that Max Kellerman hosts. Here's what Tim Bradley had to say about it.
Oh man, that's a great question. They're fighting Max. That's how you're gonna know who's gonna win the fight. They're fighting, but I have some concerns. I really do. And the first thing that came to mind is can Crawford win a decision in Vegas? You have to understand this. Look at the history of Crawford and the way he starts fights. He's a bit of a slow starter, and you think about the way Spence starts fights. He's quick. He's quick out the gate. He's consistent with his offense. And going down the stretch, if he gets behind on the scorecards, Crawford, he's going to need a knockout to win in Vegas. And you got to understand that the history of the judging in Vegas. I remember the Floyd Mayweather era where defense was, thought to be great, and you were getting points for defense. But now it has shifted. Now it's more about the aggressive fighter, the fighter that throws more punches. That's what I'm seeing from Vegas judges now. Guys that are in your face, pressing the action, being the aggressor. And we know Spence is that guy. So that's my concern moving forward in this fight. But my pick has always been Terrence Crawford. I think he's more versatile. I think he brings so much more to the table than Earl Spence.
Did you hear that, Jamal Neasy? You heard that?
Yes, sir, I did.
All right, so let's break this down in a few pieces because we have people watching us live, and I don't want to lose the audience. I want everybody to be on the same page here. So the first word that Tim Bradley used was concern. And you heard him just now. He said he was concerned that Terrence Bud Crawford starts slow, and obviously Spence, to the contrary, starts relatively faster, quicker, live out the gate, and he's more accurate on offense. What's your take on just that part right there?
I mean, he has more experience being in the fight game and how the judges roll and how this play. In my opinion, I'm not concerned about the judges at all.
Okay, so you're not concerned about the judges?
Not at all.
Are you concerned about Terrence Bud Crawford starting slow in most of his fights, including possibly this one?
No, because I think for me, I think EJ has a high IQ himself. I don't think he's gonna just, like most of his fans say, that he gonna just keep bum rushing. I don't think he's gonna do that. I think he has a high IQ, and I think he's gonna know better not to do something like a high elite counter puncher. So I don't think he's gonna be rushing up in there. I think they're gonna fill each other out. That's mostly what Bud Crawford do when he so-called quote unquote starts slow. He's checking distance. He's checking something, tapping, giving soft jabs just to tap and see his range, see how he can like break a fighter down moving forward.
Oh, okay, I feel you. So I have a question on that, since you said that that's what he does, and Errol Spence is probably not going to do that. Why did, in your opinion, as a Crawford fan, why does Crawford have to continuously do that in his game planning against lower level competition? Like starting slow, downloading information, as you said, just pawing the jab out there, checking the rhythm. Why does he have to do that with guys that he know he can obviously beat that's not even on his skill level?
Well, I don't know. Nice try. I don't really agree with the word you try to slip in there, low level. However, wait, hold on for a sec. We said? Oh, again, house. Oh. You want me to go with you? All right. Sorry. What was that? Sorry, man. You can hear me?
Are you talking to me or?
Yeah, I was talking to my lady. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay. No.
Where I was at?
You said you don't agree with me saying something. I don't know what it was.
Oh yeah, you were saying the low level competition. I just view Bud Crawford. He gives respect to all the fighters that he get in the ring with, no matter who it is, because everybody go in there, put their body on the line. So he's gonna trust his style and give respect to each fighter that gets in there. So he's gonna treat them all the same way, test them out, see what he could get away with, so he could get them out of there later in the fight.
Got you. So you don't agree with the competition being low level. So
No.
okay. On a scale from 1 to 10, how do you rate David Evanesian?
Well, not too familiar with David Avanesian, but he was top 10 ranked in the WBO, ranked number 6.
Ranked number 6. Okay. How do
That's
you?
not my. That's beyond me. The
Yeah.
the people that's professionals know what he's ranked, so that's what I'm following.
All right. How about Jerron Boots Ennis? How do you rank him from a 1 to 10?
He's a hard time, man. And just like I said, he was number 2 in the WBO. He was ranked higher in the other like IBF and other sanctions of the belts.
So you would say that Jerron Boots Ennis has more skill set and is a higher level competitor than a David Evanesian.
I wouldn't say higher level. I would say he's higher skilled. Don't know because David Evanesian has more experience. I would give a more experienced fighter over somebody that's like a rookie and high skill.
I see. But you just said that you're not an expert. The real experts are the ones who generate the rankings, and
Correct.
they know both fighters. Right. So you're saying that when you gave credit to David Evanesian being ranked number 6, but when I asked you about Jerron Boots Ennis, you wouldn't give him the credit that you would give like a David Evanesian only because he doesn't have as much experience. Am I hearing you correctly?
Well, the way you asked the question is like you was comparing them two together versus a Crawford. So I don't know if I'm mistaken on how you was asking the question, but that's how I was answering.
Well, the thing about it is you can't control how I'm asking or why I'm asking. All you can do is control your response. I'm just asking the question.
Okay.
I'm just asking the question. So you would you rank Terrence, excuse me, I keep saying Terrence. Would you
Boots.
Would you rank Jerron Boots Ennis over David Evanesian as far as opposition is concerned?
Yeah, the eye test, I would say Boots is better than Avanesian, if that's what you're trying to ask. Yeah.
No, I'm just asking the question. I want your perspective. I don't want you to try to figure out mine. I'm just trying to get yours because the viewership want to know what you think as a Crawford fan. So let's take Sean Porter. At the time that Sean Porter fought Terrence Crawford, which was the fight before David Evanesian. At that time, how would you rank Sean Porter on a scale from 1 to 10?
That's hard. That's well, I would say top 10. How he been looking, I don't know. I wasn't really following too much Porter fights prior to Crawford. So I just view him that been in there. He's elite. He's been at the welterweight for a while. He's been a champion. So I think he has enough experience to even warrant a fight against Crawford. So I'll put him high. I'll put him high.
Okay, cool. All right.
If you want a measuring stick, I would say I'll put him higher above Avanesian then. You know?
I got you. Okay.
I could say that. Yeah.
All right. So you would put Porter higher than David Evanesian. You would put Boots higher than David Evanesian. Who else did Crawford fight? Let's take Amir Khan and Kell Brook. Scale to 1 to 10. How would you rank those guys at the time that Crawford fought them?
At the time Crawford fought them, damn. I don't know. Maybe one Kell Brook one rank higher than Amir Khan? I don't know because we didn't get much of a sample size when Crawford fought Khan. You know, beat him up bad. The same thing with Kell. Yeah, it's like, so all I could do is just measure like experience with those two fighters and how much of like the scale of fighters that Kell Brook fought compared to Amir Khan. So that's how I could think of it.
I got you. Well, the reason why we don't have, like you just said, a lot of basically groundwork to use
put them away, man.
Yeah, because both of those guys, Kell Brook and Amir Khan, they was coming off of a 2-year layoff before they had like a fight or two before fighting Crawford. So you said Kell Brook will be on a level higher than Khan, right? One level higher.
Yeah.
Okay, one level higher. So according to your whole barometer, you would say that Boots Ennis is up top. Then you have Sean Porter. Then you have Kell Brook. Then you have Amir Khan, and then you have David Evanesian, in that order from best to least.
Porter, Boots, Evanesian, Khan.
Porter, Boots, Evanesian. Well, you said Kell Brook is one over Khan. So we have to say.
Oh, snap! Did I miss a name?
Yeah, you said.
Did I miss him?
Yeah, Kell Brook. You missed Kell. I got you. So it's Sean Porter, Boots,
Kell Brook.
Okay.
Evanesian, Khan.
Evanesian, Khan. Got you. So the first three fighters were Khan, Evanesian, and Kell Brook, right?
You said from the best. Yeah, you said from best to
right. But I'm going from the beginning of your list, your bottom now, moving up to the top.
I said Porter, Boots, and Kell Brook. Those use for the first three from best to least.
All right, so from best to least, Porter,
Boots, Kell
Brook. So underneath them, it would be Amir Khan, David Evanesian.
Yeah.
Right. So David Evanesian's first on your least out of all those fighters. Then
no. Amir Khan is last. Khan is last.
I'm okay. Hear me out. I'm reversing the roles from least to great now. We already got your best to least. Now I'm switching it from least.
So you got to say Khan first. You got to say Khan first then.
Okay, so Khan first, then David Evanesian, and then Kell Brook?
Correct.
Okay. And that's what I wanted to hear because I wanted to understand what you were saying. I just want to get understanding. So Kell Brook, David Evanesian, and Khan being at least, right?
Yeah.
Right. So Terrence Crawford fought all three of them. And according to the list that you provided, out of the last 5 fighters, including Boots, you basically said that those 3 guys that were least on your list in the welterweight division at the time they fought Crawford, that they weren't lower level competition.
I like how you did that because you just added something.
Well,
you just added something.
Hold.
I understand that. You just added something.
Jamal, hold on for 1 second. This is the list that you provided.
Yes, and I'm clarifying something what you did that's making me realize what you did.
Okay.
You said at the time.
Yes.
So Boots at the time, he wanted to be on the list.
Well, yeah, he should be on the list. You told me earlier he was ranked number 2 in the WBO.
Yes. That's the recent rankings. But when you said at the time, Kell Brook, Amir Khan, you know, and I know that Boots wasn't even there. So I wouldn't even put him on the list. So there's a problem right there when you're asking me a question. I'm listening very well.
Great. I try to be as simple as possible when I ask people questions, right?
So how do
So
you want the list to be?
you gave me
As
your list.
them being now, or as the time of when he fought Kell Brook? And Amir
That's what,
Khan. Cause it's going to change. Boots will probably be there, or he'll probably be last. Because at that time, he wouldn't be on their level.
no, but I
Time had
thought
passed. His skill, his experience changed. It's going to
right.
change over time.
Mm-hmm. Right. So I'm giving you credit for listening well. The question I am. I'm going to give you credit right now. I just asked you, how do you rank this fighter, that fighter, this fighter at the time that they fought Crawford? The only reason I threw Boots' name in there is because you said, I'm just going by what you said, brother. You said that you disagree with me that David Evanesian and the other fighters were not lower level composition. I mean, lower level opposition or competition. You did not agree with me when I said that they were. You said that they weren't. So I threw Boots' name in there to gauge what level of competition or opposition would you give credit to Boots if Boots was ranked higher in the WBO rankings than David Evanesian. That's why I threw Boots' name in there. So even if we get Boots' name out of it, since he didn't fight Crawford,
Correct.
the fighters that fought Crawford, Sean Porter, Kell Brook, Amir Khan, David Evanesian, they were his 4 out of 7 fights in the welterweight division, correct?
You said David Avanesian won 4 out of 7 in the welterweight division?
No, I'm saying the fighters that I just named and the fighters you named, Sean Porter, Kell Brook, Amir Khan, David Evanesian, they were 4 out of the last 6 or 7 opponents that Crawford faced in the welterweight division, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so at the time that they fought Crawford, I was saying that the opposition level of those guys were very low compared to Crawford. You disagreed with me, as if to say that these guys were really, really good when they fought Crawford.
They were really, really good before they fought Crawford.
No, but the question wasn't about how good they were before. You told me you listened well, and that's what I'm holding you accountable for.
That's why I said what I just said. Yes, they're really, really good before they fought Crawford. They get in the ring, they see there's levels to it when Crawford in the ring with them.
Jamal, you listen very well. That's not the question I asked you. I asked you at the time that they fought Crawford. Remember, that was the question that I asked you. At the time that those guys fought
At the time they fought Crawford,
yeah.
What?
Now I got to repeat the question. You just gave me a whole list.
Because I'm answering, Crawford beat these guys, right?
Yeah.
And he stopped them. He stopped them, right?
Yes.
So he's levels, my opinion, he's levels above these guys.
Yes,
so,
I agree with you. I agree with you.
All right. So anybody, to my opinion, he beating them in the ring and stopping them. He's levels above them. I'm trying to understand what you're trying to get out of me so we can move forward with the conversation.
Jamal, I just want answers out of you. Nothing more, nothing less.
I
agree. Yeah. I agree with what you're saying. So my question basically is, why does Crawford have to pull all of these tools out of the bag? Why does he have to wait to download information against fighters he's 10 times better than?
I believe I answered that already. I say he showed respect to every fighter he gets in the ring with. He tests them out, and then he get them out of there. So before I jumped onto the panel, I mean when I jumped on the panel, you was playing the Porter joint to see if I'm worried about the judges. I'm not, because I'm on the belief that he's going to stop EJ. So the judges is working for free. I mean, they working and getting some free money, and the referee got the best seat in the house. That's it. That's how I see it.
Well, there's no such thing as free money when you're working. It's either you working or you ain't.
I think you understand what I mean when I said that. But all right,
No, I don't. I'm just going by what you said, but that's okay.
they
What
they getting some good money not to do a job. They don't have to do a job. That's what I'm saying.
Because
They're
Crawford's
gonna
going to knock out Spence. That's why you're saying that.
he's gonna stop him, knock him out. I don't know. I think EJ got strong legs, so I think he probably won't actually fall down. I just think he's gonna get knocked down on his feet with it. Referee will have to stop it.
All right, he's going to stop him. I got you. So, if that is the case, and you're saying that there's not going to be no need for judges, in this fight. So
I mean, you fans gonna want to look at it and say, "Oh, he was up ahead in the cards, so we won a second fight." Yeah, it's for y'all, but Bud Crawford fans ain't gonna care. I don't care.
I see. Well, Terrence Bud Crawford was down on the scorecards when he fought Sean Porter.
There you
Correct?
go. I tell you.
Correct?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I would say. I don't want to cut you guys.
No, go ahead, brother. Speak on it.
I was gonna say like the same thing with Ali and Foreman. I mean, you pretty sure you could give Foreman a whole bunch of rounds because nobody understood what the rope a dope was. So points was going towards Foreman, but we all know Ali was in full control of that fight. I say the same thing with Porter and Crawford. You could give rounds to Porter, but it was no doubt in my mind that Crawford was in full control of that fight.
That's not what his coaches told him when he went in the corner. His Bomac and them didn't tell him that he was in full control of this fight. They seemed concerned. They told him he was down in the scorecards, and you just agreed that he was losing the fight too.
Losing on the scorecards, not losing the fight. I said he was in full control of the fight.
Well, if you're losing on the scorecards and they tally it up at the end, you will lose the fight.
Okay. Like I said, I wasn't worried about it at all.
No, that's cool.
Okay.
What I don't understand is you're comparing Muhammad Ali to Crawford.
Ooh. My man Crawford is just that great. Yeah.
Oh, you are?
Why not?
Let me ask you a question about that. In your opinion, do Muhammad Ali know how to take a punch?
Yes.
Hey, come on. That's the 1 2 1 2 Can you hear me? Is my mic on?
I laugh because I just find that funny.
Hey, it's just a simple question. Can you answer the question?
Can he take a punch? Yeah. I mean, I've seen a lot of footage where he got hit up a lot. Yes.
Okay, so Muhammad Ali can take a punch.
Yes.
Okay. How many times Muhammad Ali get knocked down?
He got knocked down a lot of times in his career.
No problem. Give me one fighter that knocked Muhammad Ali down.
Frazier.
Hold on. Somebody asked me in the chat to do something. Hold on one second.
Yo, get the likes up, y'all. Your guy's cooking me.
I gotta give the people what they want, Jamal. Somebody asked me to put the glasses on, and I have to do that. Now I put them on. So I'm glad you said that. So Muhammad Ali got knocked down by Joe Frazier, right?
Yeah.
Joe Frazier has a heck of a left hook. He's from my city, so I know all about Joe Frazier. So Joe Frazier, you would say, has a lot of power in that left hook. Knock guys clean out, right?
Yeah.
Name one fighter that Terrence Bud Crawford fought that had as much power as Joe Frazier.
Name one fighter in the
Hello, can
you want me to I'm gonna repeat. You want me to name a fighter from the welterweight division that had the same power as a heavyweight fighter?
Oh,
Are you
Jamal,
serious?
Jamal. Now, you told me earlier that you was a good listener, and I'm holding you accountable to being a good listener now, brother. What's the problem? You did come on, brother. You didn't hear the question, brother?
I heard the question, and I just find it ridiculous. There's no fighter in the welterweight division here fighting now had the same power as Frazier.
I'm talking about that Crawford
Period.
fight, though. No,
I
specifically that
said,
Crawford fight.
and it should answer all the questions.
All right.
No fighter in
Yes.
welterweight division has the same power as Joe
Yes.
Frazier today. Period.
Yes, my man. I'm glad you said that because you said that you're comparing Ali to Crawford. And Ali got hit. And Ali got hit with Joe Frazier's
Mm-hmm.
best left hook. Matter of fact, he been getting hit with that same punch the whole fight. But in the later rounds, Ali got knocked down. And he did get back up. And he finished the fight. So what I'm saying to you is this. You brought up the rope-a-dope. This is how I'm gonna bring it back around. You brought up the rope-a-dope and George Foreman winning the fight as far as quote unquote the eye test. And we've seen what happened to Foreman. So what
Can
I'm
I
saying is,
can I fix what you just said? I
go
was
ahead.
talking about winning rounds,
Winning rounds.
But
Okay, great.
we have a difference on. You said if the person winning on the scorecards, they winning the fight. I'm saying with the eye test, yeah, he could have been winning the rounds, but he wasn't in control.
No problem. So you're
All right.
comparing that to Crawford. That's where I'm getting at. I'm with you. I'm
With
with you.
the Crawford and Porter fight.
I got you. I'm with you, brother.
All right.
But you understand also when you compared Ali to Crawford, you also understand that Porter ain't no Joe Frazier and Porter ain't no George Foreman. You agree with that, right?
Yes.
Okay then. But you compare Crawford to Muhammad Ali when Muhammad Ali took fighters best punch. He been in there with Ken Norton. He been in there with Joe Frazier. He been in there with George Foreman. These are heavy punchers. He been in there with my man from Eastern Pennsylvania, Larry Holmes. He been in there with guys that can literally crack, right? And he has sustained injuries from that, but he finished the fight, whether he got knocked down or not, or they stopped the fight. The bottom line is that if you're comparing Crawford to Ali, then that means Crawford got to do the same or better than Ali. But by your admission, Crawford has not been in the ring with nobody who punched like the guys that Ali fought. But yet, we've seen Crawford get hit by fighters who do not have that much power, and he's walked away with mouses under his eyes, lumped up face and all. From David Evanesian, from Kell Brook, from Mean Machine, and from Crawford. You agree with that?
Yes.
That's the only point that I'm making. So how can you compare him to Ali?
Greatness.
Hello?
That's what I'm comparing. I'm comparing greatness, not style-wise. Oh, the same path Ali walked, that's what Crawford walked. No, I'm just talking about greatness. Like, all right.
Greatness is not about knocking people out or finishing them. Greatness is based on the level of competition that you face, and it is also based on adversity and how you respond under pressure. And we
That's
have
great.
yet to see. You agree with that, right?
Yeah. Because,
Okay.
all right, go.
So we have never seen Terrence Bud Crawford have to overcome adversity. The only times we've seen him switch stuff up is when the opposition was giving him problems. And he switched, as they call him, a switch hitter, which he's really not. But he just switched his stance to his original stance of southpaw, which he should make adjustments in the ring. Everybody got to do that. That has nothing to do with greatness. When you use the word greatness, I think about fighters who overcame adversity, who got knocked down, got back up, who has fought a level of opposition that gave them the credibility to be great. And we know, based on the list that you just provided, that Terrence Bud Crawford has not fought the level of opposition than none of the other great fighters that precede him.
I don't think Crawford found his dance partner yet. We're trying to see if it's EJ, but I think it's just going to be another fight where I think the EJ fans is going to refrain from saying low level after he knock him out.
Okay.
But I think it's just going to be another fighter, and Terrence Crawford's still going to have to go out there and find and see if his dance partner out there.
So if he hasn't fought, or your words, not mine, if Crawford has not found his dance partner yet, how can you seal him and approve him as being great?
Well, he's out there putting his body on line and he accomplishing things. So
did David
David Avenesian have 14 title defense?
No, but he put his body on the line and he became the European champion. And in fact, he tried to defend that European championship belt on November the 19th until, Crawford and BLK Prime got in and sabotaged that. So he was putting his body on the line. He had a European title. He was a champion.
So based off what you said and what I just said, are they on the same level?
What I'm trying to understand is
my headphones working? Hold on.
Your headphones is on, but you haven't answered the question. How can you give credit to Crawford for being great when you just admitted that he did not find his dance partner yet?
And I answered the question by he's still out there putting his body on line, he's still accomplishing things, and he's still fighting. And he's winning these titles. He's defending his titles. He's now on the pound for pound #1 ranked pound for pound in the world. Not my list, not your list. It's the professionals that's beyond us. They're the ones that said it.
I don't subscribe to pound for pound. You've never heard
okay,
me
that's cool.
I don't care about none of that. That doesn't mean pound for pound don't mean nothing to me. What I'm trying to understand from you is if he's great and you're sealing him and confirming that this man is great, but also at the same time saying he haven't found his dance partner, he's not great yet until he fight the right dance partner like Ali, Frazier, Holmes, the Spinks brothers. I can go on. Sugar Ray, Hagler, all those guys fought Bernard Hopkins, James Toney, Floyd Mayweather. The list goes on and on. But Crawford has not fought the level of opposition as those guys that are great. So how can he be called great? Go ahead, I'm listening to you, brother.
Because you emphasizing, you're making sure you stick with the word low level, whoever Bud fight, which is fine. That's your opinion.
Yes, that's a fact. That's not my opinion. That's a fact, brother. That's a fact.
You're a Spence fan or just a boxing fan?
Have you ever heard me say I'm a Spence fan?
And that's why I'm asking the question.
No, I'm asking you. Oh, you asking me, am I a Spence fan? You have never heard me say that, so you're assuming I'm a Spence fan.
I'm asking you the question, sir.
Okay. What's your question?
Are you a Spence fan or just a fan of boxing?
I'm a businessman in boxing.
You see, I'm pretty sure that this conversation we've been having, you can't say that I ain't answered your questions directly. Now you know what you just did now, right?
I answered your question. You asked me, am I a Spence fan? And I'm telling you, I'm a businessman in boxing. You ain't never hear me say I'm a fan of no fighter. None.
All right.
I'm not saying that I don't like fighters. I love boxers. I love boxers overall. Absolutely. But I'm not.
All right. So maybe.
But I'm not on here. Hold on for a second. The segment is called Nip It in the Bud, and you're the Bud Crawford fan. It's not about me saying who I'm a fan of. It's about you as a Crawford fan. So you can't try to spin it on me. I am a businessman.
I'm not trying to spin it.
All right, I'm not trying to spin. I got you. Listen, I'm a businessman in the sport of boxing. I love all boxers. I advocate for all boxers. So it's not that I'm a fan of Spence and not a fan of Crawford. I'm a fan of all boxers. So maybe I should have condensed it that way. I am a fan of all boxers, including Crawford, because he is a boxer. I'm a fan of all boxers. See, I can come out and say that because my platform is based on the business and the sport of boxing. But you're on this segment because you're genuinely I know that's right. You are genuinely a Bud Crawford fan. He ran and left. Still haven't answered my question. Salute to you, Gregory Quarterbomb. Thank you so much for your contribution again to the channel. Greg says, if Terrence Crawford has only fought lower level or damaged fighters, which is Porter, Khan, and Brook, he is fighting one more damaged fighter in Spence because liquor, car accidents, and life and death struggle with Porter has damaged him. Okay, then. I'm glad you said that, Greg, because if Spence is a damaged fighter like Porter, Khan, and Brook that you just said, then no Crawford fan should give Crawford credit for winning against Spence. No Crawford fan should give any credit to Crawford if he wins against Spence. If he's damaged, he don't get credit for damaged fighters, which is the point that I've been trying to make with Jamal Neasy the entire time. If these guys are lower level opposition, if they're damaged fighters, Crawford is not great yet. That's the point that I'm making. It's simple. You can't call Crawford great when he ain't fight the level of competition that none of the great fighters fought. Roy Jones, Bernard Hopkins, all those guys, they're great fighters. They fought top level opposition, win, lose, or draw. They fought them. Now, there's a guy in the chat, Michael Saucedo. Mike, you keep saying the guy cooked me. I'm okay about your opinion, but I gave you a platform. I gave you the link in the platform, and you tell me you don't want to come up here no more because I cooked you. So how you telling me some guy cooked me? This wasn't even a debate. It was a dialogue. You understand what I'm saying? But you're entitled to your opinion. You're a Crawford fan. I set this whole platform up for Crawford fans. So don't be talking greasy in the chat when you didn't have the courage to click that link and come on up. That's all I'm saying, Mike. I ain't mad, brother. I'm just saying you talking crazy. You know what I mean? But the thing is, Jamal left. He left. The man left. I didn't kick the guy off. He left. He asked me, was I a Spence fan? That wasn't me deflecting. That's a fact. Nobody on any platform has heard me say I'm a fan of not one fighter. You haven't heard me say it. And I'm not doing the deflecting. I'm a fan of boxing. You know, that's what Crawford fans have done several times on this panel. They get on here, I say, are you a Crawford fan? And I'm only asking them that because the segment is about Crawford fans. And they tell me time and time again, I'm a fan of boxing. Then we start talking. Then I discover they're really fans of Crawford and they just didn't want to say it. And then Jamal tried to spin it on me, asked me, am I a fan of Spence? This segment is called Nip It in the Bud for Crawford fans. It's not having to do with whether I'm a Spence fan, whether I'm a Crawford fan, whether I'm a fan of David Ebenezer. This segment ain't dedicated to me. I'm dedicating this segment to y'all. So don't use the reverse on me. Thank you for your contribution, Jamal Neasy. Thank you for your support. And like I told you to your face just now, thank you for your viewership. Jamal Neasy said, I got bounced out, bro. I didn't bounce you out. I never bounced you out. I don't know. I don't know what happened. I never touched nothing on the screen, brother. But you know what I'm saying? I don't know how you got bounced out, but I definitely didn't bounce you out. I don't do stuff like that. Unless I say in the beginning of a segment, hey, if you get a question wrong or if you lie, I'm gonna get you out of there. But we're just having a healthy dialogue. You know what I mean? You see, you know, all I'm saying is it's okay to be a fan of a fighter. It's no big deal. All I'm saying is just got to come with the facts and keep it 100. We all know that Terrence Bud Crawford's level of opposition in the welterweight division was not that good. And I told y'all why, and I told y'all how. The how was great matchmaking with my guy, Hall of Fame matchmaker over there, top rank, Brad Goodman. I keep saying his name on this platform, Brad Goodman. That was the how. The why is so that they continue to build their fighter up, top rank, so that their fighter can be in a position to have what? What is it called? Low risk, high reward, to put that fight on a certain plateau to gain world championship after world championship, which is what Top Rank did for Crawford. And Crawford was a champion at 135. He was a champion at 140, undisputed, and now he's a champion at 147. That's good promotion. That's good business. Mike R., thank you for your contribution and your support. Appreciate you so very much. Mike says, thank you for the great commentary. You are so welcome, Mike R. Salute to you. We also have Mr. Finesse. Thank you for your contribution and your support to the channel. Mr. Finesse says, salute, Manager Marty. Keep dropping great content and info on the business of boxing. Let the emotional live in their feelings. I like to live in facts. Thank you so much for your contribution again, Mr. Finesse, and your viewership. And thank you for even enjoying the content. And speaking of enjoying the content, I hope that somebody, and it only takes one now, it only takes one person to learn about the sport and the business of boxing that you did not know, at least one person and one thing only, that you did not know about the sport or the business of boxing before you encountered this platform. I appreciate your viewership. Hey, guess what, ladies and gentlemen, members of the jury, members of the Road to Take film crew, I had so much fun. I know I was a little bit too over the top or animated today because I have not been on a live in over a week. So, you know, I was just anxious to just get on here, just talk business. Been thinking about you all week long. I will be back here tomorrow. Yep, I'm going to be right back here, same time tomorrow. So, whatever we didn't cover today, which I think we covered everything I wanted to cover, but there's some more boxing, some more business of boxing we're going to cover tomorrow, live in living color right here. Of course, you know where you're at, but I have to remind all of you because of new viewership on another Road to Take podcast episode with Manager Marty tomorrow. Right here, same time, 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to do some more air frying on the business and the sport of boxing. Look forward to seeing each and every last one of you. I cannot wait. Join me live tomorrow. And the viewership was really, really good today. And I look forward to another great piece of this action of business and boxing tomorrow. Same time tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. I will meet you all there. Until then, enjoy the rest of your day. There is a fight coming on the zone tonight with Edgar. That's going to be a good fight while it lasts. Hey, come on back tomorrow, and I shall see you then. Salute to everybody in the chat. Thank you for your viewership, and I look forward to seeing each and every one of you tomorrow, live and living color, on another episode of Roll the Tape Podcast with Manager Marty.